Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Bat Châtillon 155-55. It's the Tier 9 French SPG. It's located on the south spawn of Overlord, and it's under the commands of Bublus of OLIMP. Game on! Okay, well, it's a single shot version of the autoloader version of this tank. It's got a turret that will turn all the way round, so you can actually position the vehicle in the route that you want to escape and then shoot at the enemy, and then when you've shot at them, then press the button and pull away, and you're located somewhere else. Well, he's actually not doing that on this game. He's actually knocked the or positioned the vehicle so he can't make a quick getaway because there's a house directly in front of him, but he's just hit somebody in the face with a shell because they knocked down a building, or knocked down a tree rather, and they just got hit. And oh, it's the SDA-1. We now know which one it was, because the SDA-1 just got hit by somebody else while he was stunned. So that was a really good round because we picked up 699 of stun assist. Now it's a 155mm, capable of doing 680 alpha, 48mm of pin, and the standard reload is 28.76, and we can see here that Bublus has got 24.55. Now he stunned the Concept 1B, did 295 hit points of damage on him, and I think he's going to do another one as well if he can fire it in time. Nope, unfortunately he couldn't, and well, there you go. You see, he didn't locate in time, relocate. If he'd used by pressing his forward key, he would have got out of the way of them before the shell even got near him. But he did get stunned, and he did lose 232 hit points of damage to the M53, M55. And under those circumstances, you normally try and move out the way as quickly as you can by moving somewhere else. And he's not doing that at the moment because he's gone straight back to the same position again. And he did penetrate the 4-sig for 748. It's a low roll, but he hasn't moved away from the same firing position. And as a consequence, he's still vulnerable to the enemy Arty, the M53, M55. So ideally, he needs to pull away from that spot and possibly move near his cap area. Enemy round, not inbound, not yet. So it's very obvious that the enemy Arty did locate where he was, but they've got other fish to fry at the moment. In fact, we do have an enemy tank getting fairly close. So Concept 1B has just gone to the other side of the bowl. One of the advantages of the Bat Châtillon 155-55 was the fact that you could drive elsewhere. Now this Scorpion G is kind of handicapping us in a way because he's not allowing us to move away from that position quickly. He's kind of just sitting there at the back of the map and obstructing us. But that's even more reason for him to move away from this spot. The shell went long on from the UDES. Yeah, so ideally he needs to move away from this Scorpion as quickly as possible, even though the Scorpion could protect him to a certain extent. By staying where he is, he's actually becoming more vulnerable to that M53, M55. Okay, his platoon mate managed to kill the Cobra. Now, can he get a shot on that Type 63? Rounds out. Well, he did for 129, but yet again, that Scorpion's getting in the way. Oh, he's moved away now. That's good. It's much easier to relocate if you've got a free angle either way and loads of bushes that you can hide behind. In fact, one of our teammates has now pushed on the east side of the map. In fact, more than one has now pushed, and the enemy is vulnerable. There's their SU-130PM. Rounds out quickly. And he looks away after he shoots, which again is not good, because if you do that, you don't get to see what happened to the shell and if it got near. You might as well have not fired if that was the case, because we're not going to see anything. You're not going to show any damage on the enemy, And the people who are watching the video don't want to watch a video where they don't see anything damage done. He fires straight away. Yes, he does get damage there. You see, he's not relocating after he shot that one. But if he stays where he is and keeps staying where he is, he might actually make himself vulnerable. Looks like one of the enemy RTs, or the only enemy RT, is on the beach, because we just saw a shell come in from that direction. He's going for the Progetto. Gets the sun, but doesn't get a hit. Again, he's not moving very far from where he was last sighted. We're one up on the enemy. That Type 63 is now vulnerable. We can possibly wipe him out with just one shot. And yes, he is staying in generally the same position. Oh! Leaves him on only 15 hit points. That was a good shot. Wasn't on target to actually hit the guy, but if it had hit him, it would have wiped him out for sure. But those enemies are now very close, so he does need to move, and he needs to move up the east side of the map. There's the SU-130PM. He just killed our 257. Can we get a shot? Rounds out. Looks good. Lands near, but he needs to change position. He needs to move north because the enemy are getting closer and closer to the cap area. Admittedly, that Scorpion is getting hit by the enemy Arty. So the M53 has seen the Scorpion fire and is now getting shots on that area. That Scorpion is, drawing enemy fire like a lightning in a storm. And there goes this SDA-1. That's a good shot. Only 81 hit points, but it is a kill. But he hasn't moved away. He's just moved forward and then moved straight back to the same spot again. Again, that's not changing position, and that makes you vulnerable to RT fire. He's not that far away from the Scorpion as well. The enemy RT might actually use that against him. Where he's going, he's changing position now, so that's good. The Scorpion just got wiped out by the... oh, actually, it wasn't Scorpion, it was the Borsig just got wiped out by the 122 TM. He's going back to the house again. But the good news is that he has most of his teammates nearby the enemy. We're one down on the enemy now. Okay, sighted himself next to the house. We don't know where the SU-130PM is. He could be on the way south right now. Yes, we do have that bunch of trees in front of us, blocking the sight of the SU-130PM. Okay, Progetto. One shot. And he's gone. Now we need to move to the west as fast as possible. If we stay where we are vulnerable to the SU-130PM. And because we're right next door to the house, we're blocking our line of sight on the enemy. In fact, now the SU-130PM has been spotted on the edge of the map. Lining up the shot because it's turning the turret. Lines it up. And now. Yeah, got it. 684, that's a penetrating shot, low roll. Makes him vulnerable. The SU-130PM will probably go down with the next shot. There's the Type 63. He's a one-shot as well. That's the one we hit the last time, remember? Didn't get the kill, but we got it close. Almost loaded. This could be a kill shot. It is! And now that means that... Oh, and the SU-130PM just went down to the 122, leaving the M53 as the last enemy alive. And he's on the beach. We know that because that's the direction the shells were coming from. And so it's everybody for themselves. They're all shouting, mine, 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 to get to him as quickly as we can. So although Bubblers did sort of like stick around the same general positions every time, he did kind of make himself vulnerable to enemy fire. But in the end, he actually managed to get some decent kill shots on the enemy. And the last enemy has been killed. He did return to the cap area. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game for bublus of Olymp in the Bat Châtillon 155-55. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He managed to get 10, and he got a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And his win rate in that one, 4,090. So super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he did get the highest damage on the team, but not the highest damage in the game. That went to the Echelon 30 PM on the enemy team with 3,539, but he did get second place because he got 3,023, and the third place goes to the 122 TM who managed 3,012. When it came to kills, we can see that the high scorer was the Fundraiser on our team. Managed to get 5 kills in that one. 4 kills rather, went to the Echelon 30 PM, and 3 kills went to the 122 TM on his own team, and the Progetto 66 on the enemy team. And we can see bublus only got 2 kills. But when it came to base XP, he's in third place because the 122 TM managed 1,281. The CS52 list got 1,049. Both of those were tier 8. And in tier 9, we've got bublus with 1,043. So it was the highest scoring tier 9 vehicle in the game. So got the second place, third place. Is that third place or is it? No, it's actually fourth place. And then obviously third place when it comes to base XP. And yes, he was one of only 3 who managed to get over 1,000 base in the game. He fired 16 rounds, got 8 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrating shots. Now, I think we saw those penetrating shots because one of them was the Borsig, who actually, there he is, got penetrated for 748 hit points. That was a high roll for because, of course, the alpha is 680. And the other one I seem to recall that he fired was it the SU-130? Yes, it was. That one while he was in the bowl. And he got it timed just right because the shell went right into him. And again, another high roll for 730. So 2 good penetrating shots on lightly armored tank destroyers. He also got 15 splashes on the enemy as well. 3,023, all of it at more than 300 meters. Did receive 1 hit by way of splash from the enemy M53, M55. I think he did stay too close to that house most of the game. It is known that that's the spawn area for the Arty. So the enemy Arty did actually look and found the tracer coming out from behind the house. I realized that, yeah, the enemy Arty was camping on that particular spot. And I know that Scorpion was in the way, but he did do the right thing eventually. He moved away from the house to get away from it. And then obviously he wasn't attracting fire. The Scorpion was attracting the fire instead. But of course, there are occasions where you move forward and then move straight back to the same spot. And it's normally not advisable to do that because if you do move back to the same spot, you are vulnerable. So it is actually much, much better to just move even just a few dozen yards away from the actual position you were in previously by moving laterally. That is, moving sideways across the map, because an enemy Arty will certainly look and fire at the same previous position, might adjust their range forward or backwards a bit, but they rarely actually aim laterally on a target. So if you move sideways, they normally won't follow you, or at least they will get it wrong because they won't realize how far laterally you've moved from the previous position. Anyway, he got 8 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed. There's the Confederate. 2,214 hit points of stun assist, or 14 stuns. And there's the ace tanker, combined damage of 5,000. So yes, he was very effective in that game because he did get a lot of stuns. You can see actually most of the shots that he fired actually did do something to the enemy. So effective, yes. He earned 118,458 credits from the game because he got 105,000 on a mission completion. And he also took away 3,129 experience points as well. So yes, it was a good game. It did generate a lot of results. He got good scores. My only criticism, I suppose, really is to say you need to move about from a firing position laterally a little bit more to avoid the enemy firing at you, because you kept camping the house and he knew that you were there. And the same thing happens on Mines Map, where people tend to go directly to the corner on either side, on the south spawn or on the north spawn, and it's so easy to get spotted when you go to those positions. But if you change position and you go to, say, Nigel's spot, or you go to that little alcove around the corner near the cap area, and then change between that position and the other position, which is behind the bushes, then the enemy can't work out where you're going to be next, and they have difficulty unless, of course, they spot you. So it does actually pay in the long run to actually keep moving about so that the enemy can't work out where you are. And the Bat Chat actually helps you on that, because it is one of those arties where you can turn the gun one way, but the turret or the facing direction of the vehicle can be a completely different one. So you could head east with your next shot instead of west, and the enemy won't work out which way you went, especially if you backed up. If you went into a completely different direction than you went the previous time. Hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below, because it feeds the algorithm, gets the videos noticed by other people. And thank you for watching.